The one thing I kept hearing over and over from these parents of special education students is that they feel like second-class citizens in the nation's second largest school district.
It's going to be hard. Yeah, she's going to be pretty upset.
Special needs parents and their children are experiencing an array of emotions.
Confusion, really confusion of he has a vision of being there next year, and he's very afraid. He doesn't understand, why there's change.
After they learned that LAUSD is shuttering several special education day classes.
Unfortunately, we are an afterthought. This community, this special needs community, is an afterthought.
In a statement to us, the district wrote, annually, programs are opened and closed as the needs of the special education program and the communities change. We asked the district for a tally of which programs were being closed, and they refused to answer. So we filed a public records request back in March, which keeps getting delayed by the district. Anecdotally, we have counted more than a dozen special ed classrooms that are scheduled to not reopen in August.
Everything they have to fight for, they shouldn't have to fight for this.
Lisa Bennett teaches the special education day class for grades 3 to 5 at Van Gogh Elementary in Granada Hills. She's been teaching the class for 17 years. But this spring, she was told her enrollment was going to be too low next school year, so her class is being shut down. She says the majority of her class was fourth grade students who will now have to finish elementary school at another location.
They have this community. And some of my students that this is their home school have been here since kindergarten. And the idea of removing them in their final year of elementary school after what we've all been through, the trauma is just overwhelming.
Bennett feels the district is acting prematurely. The pandemic created a pause in individualized education programs, or IEPs, because they can only be done in person. So Bennett thinks her enrollment will rise as the district moves through its backlog.
So my numbers can start off low, but then get higher as the IEP process is completed.
Maria Herrera's daughter Mia is an incoming fifth grader in Bennett's class at Van Gogh. Though 11 years old academically, she is more like a first grader. Mia's mom says when she was mainstreamed in a traditional classroom, she hated school and was often teased by her peers.
This is a little girl who finally found a place that she's blending. She's doing great. She has confidence, and the minute she hears it, I know it's going to break her heart. And it's one of those things that I feel she can't catch a break.
Kristen Gray's daughter Gwen was set to enroll in the special ed program at Marquez Elementary in Pacific Palisades for her third grade year. The family was hopeful she would thrive after 2 rough years.
We went through hell, everyone, with COVID, and now we have an opportunity to, get back into school, and yet this new wrench has been thrown into, multiple homes. And so I just think, it's time for the district to make it a priority for these children and these families.
LAUSD says it will ensure that students continue to receive the services and programs as determined by their IEP. But Bennett says some students need a classroom of their own with a teacher who is specifically trained to work with kids with special needs.
Inclusion is a beautiful idea and definitely can work for some students. But we have to remember, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Inclusion is not for everyone.
Mark Diamond just broke the news to his son that his day program was closing.
I recently told him, and the first thing on his face was just the tears started rolling. Why? What did I do wrong? And he doesn't understand, that it's nothing to do with him.
It's a difficult talk that dozens of families will have to make this summer, unless the district changes its mind.
The infrastructure is already there. The services, the assistant principal, the teacher, the classroom, the space.
You're helpless and you're just one voice. But I figure if we come together and voice it out, they have to hear us.
Van Gogh Elementary did appeal the district's decision and recently found out that its appeal was denied. We will update this story once the district completes our public records request to have a more accurate count of how many special ed classes are closing. Back to you.
And streaming on CBS News Los Angeles at 11:35, Christine sits down with LAUSD special education teacher Lisa Bennett with a more in-depth look at the issue. That's tonight, right after this newscast.